New siege mode gimmicks. Thoughts? Funny how a Cadian costs almost the same as a grenade. What's your guys' opinions on it? Well, nothing really stands out to me, at least the first time when I saw it, but now that I'm thinking about it, 200 for an Astartes. It's pretty sick. And then we also have a 250 Cadian and then a 300 Cadian, so I'm kind of confused of what they're supposed to bring to the table that the Bulwark or the Heavy won't, you know what I mean? But I will say, hey, if this is the guy from Decapitation who goes, Astartes, I'd pay 300 for that. Yeah, why not? But he would have to do it every round. He would need to do that. He would need to say his voice lines exactly the way he says that in the operation every time, every new round. Also interesting, Guardian Relic 300. This is actually a pretty good pickup in my opinion. 600 for armor. I mean, sorry, not 600. 60 for armor is okay. Ammo seems expensive. That's 200 and 200 for primary and 30 for secondary, I assume. And I'm also curious to see how this is going to work. Like, if you have the assault class, their primary is the secondary. Do you get cheaper ammo, or do you unfortunately have to go and buy primary ammo? That would be kind of unfortunate. Grenades. See, here's the thing with the grenades. It just shows one grenade tab. Are these random? I would hope not. Stims, 150. That seems fine. See, here's the thing. I don't really know how much points, let's say 250 points is. The only thing I know is that this is the 4th strongest Cadian. So 200, 250 seems pretty, I don't know, seems pretty expensive in a sense. Now, obviously, 1,500 for the Dreadnought. That's going to be pretty interesting to see how fast people can get that. And I guess, apparently, these are supposed to be ways you can just put in for the Dreadnought. So let's say if you only have 100 points, you can just put 100 points in, and I think this counts up for your team, which would be interesting. But still, my go-to here would be Bulwark for 200s, Heavy for 200, also pretty good. Tactical for 200, maybe. I feel like right here, the Sniper, the Assault, and the Vanguard. I feel like right here, I'm not too sure how worth it those bots would be, but I'm gonna say the Bulwark bot would be very powerful, considering the fact that for whatever reason, bot Bulwarks can place their banner within 30 seconds of each other. So. I don't know. And they love spamming that thing, so bot Bulwark is actually pretty clutch. But yeah, ultimately there's nothing too worrying about this. I think this is fine. Cadian costs almost the same as a grenade. The grenade's 150. Oh yeah, right here, 150. Oh, that's true. That's interesting. It's interesting in the sense that a grenade is pretty powerful. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm doing this wrong. 80 grenade, 100. So the Cadian is more than the grenade. Dude, wait, why are grenades so cheap? That feels good, right? So maybe grenade spamming is the way to do this in siege mode. And also, I think they should keep the economy the way it is. But I am going to call out that I think grenades are going to be very, very important in siege mode. The fact that they're making them pretty accessible means they expect you to use them a lot. So if we're using them a lot, that means there's a lot of enemies to use them on. Yeah, definitely make sure you pick up your grenades. It seems like grenades are going to be very important. Grenades cost 20 more points than the armor, and I don't think the armor is going to be that important, to be completely honest. Yeah, I don't know. We definitely have some things to work out here. This is I like this so far, for sure. I want to see what the Cadians bring. I think maybe you just have 5 Cadians. If it's just, I don't know. I really hope these are unique soldiers, because I know for a fact those Decapitation boys are not going to be able to survive a wave. They can barely fight off one gaunt, so I can't imagine they would be worth it for 100. But yeah, again, my go-to, the Bulwark bot should be good. Grenades are cheap. Armor, you might be better off avoiding. If you can just parry things, you should be fine. But I guess it depends on what class you are using. I can imagine certain classes will want to use this more often. Stim 150 seems fine. I mean, if grenades are 80, that should be good. This is interesting. I can't wait. A couple days until the PTS, guys. A couple days. So my first assumption is that the IG reinforcements are not all that strong, more like fodder to keep the swarm off our back, but I'm hoping they are strong on the higher tiers. maybe even with heavy weapon team, sentinels, or tanks, doubtful on all three. Hey, they could definitely just add in a new, new guy to get that could potentially just spawn in with heavy weapons or something. That, like a heavy weapon artillery squad or something. I'm not sure. I wonder why the IG only has 5 slots instead of 6. That's mildly annoying. I'm not too sure why the difference. Like 5 or 6 doesn't really concern me. That's interesting. I hope in general the AI reinforcements are better than the AI agents we currently have for PvE. Also, I wonder if they'll be supporting perks, customizable. Again, doubt it, but it's very curious. I mean, yeah, that is an interesting suggestion. It was more so for operations, I think here, as far as the AI teammates that we have. I think again, Bulwark is pretty useful. Heavy should be pretty useful considering his weapon. I'm not very confident the Vanguard bot is going to be worth it, and I'm also not confident that the Assault bot is going to be worth it. I don't think the Assault bot uses his jetpack nearly as much as the Bulwark bot uses his banner, so that's kind of wild. But yeah, I'm not too sure why we would have 6 slots instead of 5 anyway. I'm not too sure what they mean about that. 10 guardsmen cost the same as 3 Marines. Okay, that's somebody said that in the comments. 10 guardsmen? Is it still the same guardsmen we see in Decapitation? Because they're not even going to be able to last a round, man. They have to be like unique and like actually battle aware guardsmen if you want us to spend more than a grenade point on them. You know what I mean? Like grenades are, I would probably rather have a grenade. It really depends, I guess, but hey, we will see. We will see. I figured it'd be similar to World War Z. When there are a few dozen guardsmen, they help pretty well. But if we're only allowed to call in 1 person or up to 3 at a time like World War Z, they're basically going to be useless. 1 combo from a warrior and they're cooked. If these were Kaskrins, Scions, or some elite group, then maybe this could work better. I was hoping for guardsmen garrisons, but I figured that wasn't happening. I'll just try calling in additional start days in the Dreadnought. If those prove to be useless, then I'll save my points. I hope Dreadnoughts will be coded to deal with Biowar turrets, otherwise it will probably be situations where they just shoot them in anchor mode and do 0 damage. Biowar turret. Oh, I see. Yeah, like if a Biowar spawns in, the Dreadnought would just continuously pelt them, and yeah, the Biowar could block it. That would be unfortunate. I guess in that case, you would just have to... Honestly, if you get behind Biovars, most of the times they stand up and try to attack you, so... And not to mention, if you get behind Biovars, they have a weak spot anyway, I believe. And honestly, if you hate Biovars that much, bring out a Plasma Pistol if you can. Because, yeah, the Plasma Pistol is amazing against Biovars. Interesting, though. Interesting. I guess they could bring in other factions as, you know, like, if they had Guardsmen, obviously. I wouldn't be opposed to them bringing in like a different faction of guardsmen if they were just a little bit more appropriate as far as power goes for siege mode. But still, I am definitely going to hold out hope of them making any significant changes to siege, because ultimately I hope that they update siege mode, but I can imagine they're still working on operations and a new class and stuff like that. So maybe if siege mode gets an update, maybe it'll be next year or something, maybe a new map. Who knows? Honestly, siege mode does give the devs an opportunity to just continuously update whenever they feel like it's appropriate, or if they have a good idea, or if they're already cooking on something. Now, ultimately, again, we're definitely going to have to wait to hear what the devs' thoughts are for Year 2 content. And then we will have a better guess on what to expect from the future of the game. I mean, also, you got to keep in mind, Space Marine 3 is going to take a bit, you know? It really is. It could take 5 years or something. Who knows? Ultimately, I think the devs would still put themselves in a position to continue updating Space Marine 2, so people are more interested in the next game, and then not to mention a lot of the stuff that they, you know, trial and error, as far as updates go, you know, bugs, cosmetics, weapon skins, whatever we have to, you know, make a point about, or to criticize, or to improve. Hopefully that's really what criticism should be aimed to do. Ultimately, I think a lot of that feedback is going to build up, and then Space Marine 3 is going to be very, very good. So, hey, for right now, Siege Mode, we're definitely going to have to jump into the test server in a couple days. We will have things to try out, And I really hope everything works well as far as connections when the patch finally drops. The devs did mention in the last community update that they are working on connection issues. But yeah, last time the test server ran really well. It was, there wasn't any signs of any sort of connection issues in the test server. So, hey, we will see. We will see. The Dreadnought should stay for the whole wave or until the next boss wave is defeated. So, apparently the devs confirmed that the Dreadnought is going to be on a 3-minute timer. So, when you have that Dreadnought out, make sure you make the most of that. Make the most of it because, yeah, 3 minutes for the Dreadnought, kind of interesting. Now, you also got to consider the length of waves. So I think the fact that they gave it a 3-minute timer means we should expect at least higher tier waves to be about 3 minutes. It's maybe something like that, maybe a little bit over. But yeah, that's kind of rough. I mean, all those points. I guess that's why you need to make sure you spend a bulk of your points on things that will be a positive addition to your kit on that wave, and then any extra points you have left over, put into the Dreadnought. Because if you put all your points in the Dreadnought, you're going to be using all your points on a temporary Dreadnought. Now, that said, I guess stims, armor, grenades, all those are technically temporary because, you use them. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how people navigate the economy of Siege Mode. So definitely wanted to review the options as far as what to put your points into Siege Mode. I definitely just wanted to, give my thoughts on a good way to approach the mode and how you should expect to spend your points. I think I'm going to be using a lot of my points on grenades. I think I'm going to be using a lot of my points on bringing the Bulwark Astartes into action. However, that does lead me to believe that maybe Dreadnought's the only one with a cooldown, or not a cooldown, but a timer. Because if the Astartes have timers, that would be kind of rough also, right? I don't know. We will see. We will see. It's in a couple days. I mean, legit, in 2 days, we will be looking at Siege Mode, so very excited about that.